A. Reversioner, in Hindu law, refers to the person who is next in line to inherit property after the death of a limited owner, typically a Hindu widow who has a life estate in the property, meaning they will inherit the property once the widow passes away and not before. Essentially, they are the next in line heir who will eventually receive full ownership of the property upon the limited owner's death. Key points about a reversioner in Hindu law. 1. Limited ownership. A Hindu widow usually holds a limited estate in her husband's property, meaning she can use the property during her lifetime but cannot fully alienate it without restrictions. 2. Right to challenge alienation. The reversioner has the right to challenge any improper transfer of the property by the limited owner, like selling it without legal necessity, as they have a vested interest in inheriting the property upon the limited owner's death. And 3. Who is the reversioner? The reversioner is typically the deceased husband's closest male heir, like a son or brother, depending on the family lineage and applicable Hindu law principles. Under Hindu law, a reversioner refers to the next eligible heir who would inherit a property if the current owner, usually a widow or a life tenant, dies without making any further legal transfer, meaning the property would revert back to the next heir in line, such as a son, daughter, or other close relative depending on the family structure. Essentially, they are the person who has a contingent right to inherit the property after the current holder's life estate ends. Examples of reversioners in Hindu law. 1. A son when his mother, who inherited her husband's property as a widow, dies. If a Hindu man dies leaving behind a wife and no children, the wife would have a life estate in the property, and upon her death, the husband's son would be considered the reversioner, inheriting the property. 2. A brother when his sister, who received ancestral property as a share, dies without children. If a sister inherits ancestral property but dies without any children, her brother would be the reversioner, having the right to claim the property. And 3. A nephew when his uncle, who had a limited ownership right in the property, dies. In situations where an uncle has a restricted right to use property but cannot sell it, his nephew could be the reversioner, inheriting the property upon the uncle's death. Key points about reversioners in Hindu law. Right to challenge alienation. A reversioner has the right to challenge any transfer of property made by the life tenant if it was done without legal necessity, meaning they can sue to reclaim the property if the current owner sold it without a valid reason. Impact of Hindu Succession Act. The Hindu Succession Act, 1956, has significantly impacted the rights of reversioners, particularly by granting daughters equal inheritance rights to sons in ancestral property.